Jacob.
I'm Yuri.
And we're going for a drive. BMW Alpina XB7.
2021 Mercedes-Maybach GLS600 with no launch control.
With launch control. Oh my God. That's way faster than it should be. So we wanted to compare the most luxurious SUVs we can find from the German rivals of Mercedes and BMW.
And they're both from each company's in-house specialty sub-brand.
So let's get into the horsepower and torque.
The Maybach has 550 horsepower, 538 pound-feet of torque from a 4-liter twin-turbo V8 with EQ boost.
And the Alpina has 612 horsepower, 590 pound-feet of torque from a 4.4-liter twin-turbo V8.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1.
Oh, gone.
Completely dusted in the Maybach.
Yeah, so one of these is definitely sportier, and I happen to be in the sportier one, which is the Alpina. There is no doubt in my mind this is way faster because every time we've tried to compare these, this one just takes off.
The Alpina is meant for drivers, where this Maybach is actually kind of meant for the back seats because we've got only 2 seats back there.
Yeah, considering it's meant to be a 3-row SUV and you only have 2 seats in the back, it's extra luxurious back there.
So a couple million of you liked our previous GLS versus X7 video. Another couple million liked our GLE bouncing video. If you're one of those couple million, maybe subscribe so you know when we do the next really cool comparison. And the XB7 is the fastest X7 that you can buy, but this is not the fastest GLS that you can buy. There is a GLS63 that is faster.
Yeah, and the GLS63 is also even cheaper than that, so it also kind of splits the difference where you get more performance but less luxury. So it would also be a really good matchup with the XB7.
And Maybach only modifies the S-Class and the GLS, where Alpina will do a whole bunch of different BMW models.
So these are big 3-row SUVs. Let's start with the looks.
Starting with the front ends.
The Maybach has a totally different grille than every other Mercedes. It's not that Panamericana style, it's like a thinner version of it.
Yeah, it definitely looks more luxurious, and the grille below looks very, very chromy, and it stands out.
Yeah, and it kind of looks a little cheap as well, whereas nothing on this Alpina front end looks cheap. I love the Alpina logo up front, and we got a pretty big grille on the X7 as well.
I wouldn't say it looks cheap, I would say it looks a little cheese, but I like it.
And we got way better headlights on the BMW.
I would kind of argue that the GLS headlights are just as good because the SUV headlights on the new Mercedes are really, really nice.
Yeah, but the overall front end on the Alpina just looks so much more aggressive.
Well, remember how everyone made fun of the X7 grille because it was so big? Compared to this grille on the Maybach, it doesn't seem that big at all.
No, it really doesn't. So let's move on to the side where I have the better stance in the Alpina.
Okay, the Alpina can get dumped all the way to the bottom while you're parked, where the Maybach cannot. The Maybach you can't dump all the way when you're in park, but you can dump it when you're in driving in the car with your off-road assistance individual wheel settings. But what the Maybach has that the XB7 doesn't have is
bounce mode with your free driving assist.
Yeah, that's to get yourself out of a stuck situation. We previously experienced that in the GLE. But I feel like every Maybach has that, only for the reason that it looks super cool and it's part of the e-active body control package.
Although it is definitely the coolest party trick, you can only use it below 15 kilometers per hour. You can't use it in park, so you have to be in drive or even reverse actually.
So BMW wins for the stance, but how about the wheels? The Alpina wheels always look amazing, but we kind of have Alpina-ish style Maybach wheels in the GLS.
Yeah, they're very, very similar multi-spoke design. I think they both look really good. I almost have to tie them, but at the same time, the Alpina has the heritage of these amount of spokes, so I kind of have to give it to the Alpina.
And I'm gonna give it to the Maybach because the wheels are a bunch brighter and they really match the chrome accents on the side of the Maybach, which I really like. The XB7 only has that little chrome hockey stick at the bottom, nothing chrome around the windows.
Yeah, the XB7 just has an overall sportier look from every angle because you also have a Maybach logo on your seat pillar where I don't have anything.
Yeah, I guess that's more of a luxury kind of thing to throw on your SUV.
And the Maybach is definitely the more luxurious one of these two.
And now moving on to the back end, who's got the cooler taillights?
I gotta give it to the Maybach on this one. They look a little bit cooler.
Totally agree. And then if we move down to exhaust tips, as cool as the XB7 is, the Maybachs are just a little bit cooler.
No way, I'm giving it to the Alpina because, come on, double dual exhaust, that looks so good, it's classic.
Okay, and then we should probably listen to both of them from the outside.
And although we want to know how they rev, we also want to know how quiet they are from the outside. So let's take another listen.
Yeah, you pretty much can't even hear this Maybach from the outside idling, but how does it sound from the inside when I floor it in Maybach mode? Still pretty quiet, but you hear a little bit of rumbling.
You're in Maybach mode, which is your most comfortable mode. I'm gonna go to Sport Plus mode, which is my most sporty mode, and then floor it. That sounds pretty good.
But still not obnoxious like an M car or like a 63 AMG.
Yeah, and they're both dead quiet inside, but I do have to give it to the Maybach for being slightly more quiet.
And then as for paint, we both have them in black. I think the green and blue looks much better on the Alpina, but we're missing the awesome two-tone that we can option on the GLS.
Yeah, so we gotta give them a tie for what we have because we both have the black versions of each one.
But overall, looks-wise, if you could spec one out the way you wanted, I would totally pick a two-tone Maybach, and I think that looks so much better than the XB7.
And I 1000% agree with that.
Even though the Alpina does look like more of a monster.
So the next thing that people probably really care about in these types of SUVs is comfort. So I'm actually gonna put myself into Comfort Plus mode, and it is sublime in here. We both have air suspension, but I gotta give the win to the Mercedes Maybach.
Yes, we have a Maybach suspension mode, and it takes your comfort and then it adds a little diamond next to it to prove to you how luxurious your comfort is in here.
Yeah, whereas Alpina mode, if they had one, would probably be the more sporty mode, whereas the Maybach mode is actually the more comfortable mode.
So the Maybach and Alpina both give us different fonts on the back of the cars. Who has the cooler badge/logos?
I don't really know. I think I gotta give them a tie.
I think Alpina wins because the A is such a weird shape to me.
Okay, we'll give it a 0.1 of a win on that one.
And this Maybach has a little too many Mercedes logos and not enough Maybach logos.
I do agree, but the C-pillar one is pretty sweet. And hey Drake, I'm a big fan of yours. I know you're a big fan of Maybachs. We did try to reach out to you to see if you wanted to be featured in this video to let us know which one you prefer to this Maybach and the Alpina. Unfortunately, we couldn't get through to your DM.
And we assume Drake is probably a straight piper. So hit us up, Yuri Tershin on Instagram or Straight Pipes on Instagram. Let us know if you want to come do some car stuff with us.
Yeah, bring all your Mercedes out. We can have a track day.
Hey Drake, remember when you came to Planet Bowl when I used to work there back when you were on Degrassi?
I don't think he remembers that.
Bro, everyone remembers Planet Bowl. Friday night, DJ night, Cosmic Bowl. So now to get some points back for the GLS, we should probably talk about the second row of seats.
Normally, if we weren't comparing this Alpina to anything else other than that Maybach, this thing would probably win against everything else. But because we're comparing it to that, it definitely wins for the interior on the Maybach.
Yeah, it's definitely more Rolls-Royce-ish back here, but the Maybach can be optioned without just those two seats, but lucky for us, it is.
But you can't get a third row. The only thing you can get is 3 seats in the back.
So we've got a center console with a fridge in this Maybach. We've got some champagne flutes that are conveniently missing. I'm not sure who took those out. We've got hidden trays that you can work on down there. We've got 2 screens that you can browse the internet and control the infotainment from. And we've got some of the nicest airplane-style reclining seats.
And don't forget about that tablet that is an Android tablet that you can take out and also control your infotainment and all of your peasant blockers and shades.
And then we've also got super crazy ambient lighting in the back of the Maybach too, but it is pretty normal Mercedes ambient lighting.
And in the XB7, I actually do have 3 rows, and all of them are very comfortable to get into. They're not quite as comfortable as the seats on the Maybach, but I have no complaints about sitting in any row in this vehicle.
Yeah, the XB7 also does have 2 screens at the back, which does control the infotainment, but I didn't see a web browser, so you're gonna get points on the Maybach there.
Yeah, and there's no massages or anything back there. We do have heated, which is nice, but it's kind of lacking a couple luxurious features like yours has.
And this Maybach also has these huge side steps that also come out when you open the doors, and it's extra wide at the back because this car is about the rear seat room. But I feel like the XB7 is meant to be sportier and still allow you to do everything you want to do, where this Maybach is like, there's a lot of stuff you can't do, but you are going to be so comfortable, so luxurious that it doesn't even matter. So in the second row of the Alpina, you actually have extra pillow headrests for the seats.
Yeah, so you can put them on or remove them. I would definitely just leave them on.
And the Maybach, of course, also has that, and it's got lumbar pillows.
Yeah, the lumbar pillows are pretty sweet because they also say Maybach. And fun fact, my iPhone 12 Pro Max actually fully fits in the wireless charger in the back of the Maybach, which is so luxurious.
I'm so surprised that an auto manufacturer actually planned for that the year that the car came out.
Yeah, well, it's a Maybach. I would hope that they did that.
And just to prove how good the suspension is, here's some gratuitous shots of the cars going over train tracks.
Didn't even feel them. If I didn't know I was going over train tracks, I wouldn't even know I did it.
So let's switch up the cars, talk about a little bit more technology, maybe a little trunk room stuff, go through Cliche Corner and decide which one wins, considering the prices are a little off.
Just gonna floor it one last time. Oh yeah, that's fast.
I'm going to keep it in Maybach mode one more time. Perfect. Recovery mode, bounce by switch.
Yeah, okay. Bounce control.
Alphina with the real launch control. Ooh, that's really fast.
All right, for real, sport mode launch. Still pretty quick.
I guess what we really need to find out is the luxury worth missing out on the speed?
I think I've made up my mind, but I'll save that for the end of the video.
So back to these two interiors, we've actually got much nicer colors in this Alphina. We've got some blue and white, and you know how much I love white interiors.
The white interior is definitely pretty cool, but considering this black interior actually looks amazing, and I'm not really a fan of gloss black, but seeing gloss black with these pinstripes, I don't know what Mercedes did, but they figured me out because I'm totally okay with this.
I don't think Mercedes did that. I think Maybach did that. But there are a lot of very cool colors you can get in the Maybachs too, called Mahogany Macchiato Beige Interior. And then you can also get a white interior in the Maybach from what I've seen on some different page builders.
And my favorite part of driving this, because yeah, I guess you'd actually probably drive this if you owned one, this steering wheel, this gloss black, again, I don't really care about it because it's so expensive. It just feels so nice.
Okay, but this leather-wrapped Alphina steering wheel with the blue and green stitching plus the Alphina logo is like top-notch too.
And in the Maybach, the paddles kind of feel cheap and plasticky. I don't really like them, but I wouldn't ever use them either.
Yeah, and in the Alphina, we've got these little button paddles at the back. That's a heritage thing that aren't really convenient to use either. Who's gonna win the steering wheel battle?
I think we just have to give it to the Alphina, even though both of us wouldn't use any of these paddles ever.
Okay, how about interior lightings overall in each of these cars?
I gotta give the win to the Maybach like 100%.
The Maybach is very good, but look how great of a job I did of showing off the Alpina's interior lights.
Yeah, but look how great of a job I did on the Maybach lights.
I think the Maybach did all that work.
Bro, it was me.
And the most important interior feature, the visors. 3, 2, 1, slide,
yes.
pass!
And double visor in the Maybach, double pass.
No!
Ha, points Maybach.
Before we get into comparing the tech, I want to compare the practicality. So let's hit them with the
box test.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 boxes in the Alphina. So we only have enough room for Corbin's box and Adam R's box in the Maybach. Not very surprising considering the Maybach's back seats don't go down, but now that I'm a dad, you're gonna be a dad soon, we should probably do the baby seat test.
So it turns out the baby seat actually fits in both cars very easily because the Maybach has a removable panel for the ISOFIX mounts.
Most luxurious baby check. But the most shocking thing is that the stroller actually fit around the fridge in the back of the Maybach.
Yeah, I was genuinely shocked by that. I didn't think it was gonna fit.
Great job, Maybach / Up a Baby collab. I don't know who made that work.
Yeah, I don't think there's any collab there. It just happened to work.
Okay, this car is perfect for baby. Peasant blockers, because she doesn't like when people look at her. And super comfy back seats, like way more comfortable than Nissan Rogue. No shade, Nissan Rogue, but leaving the hospital would have been better in this. Oh, and the built-in rocking baby to sleep mode. Okay, it's okay, baby. We're turning on, oh yeah.
It actually works.
Rocking you.
It actually works.
And baby's not sad anymore. Oh yeah.
We're gonna talk about the tech in a second, but first, these seats are so comfortable in both of these, I kind of just basically have to give them a tie.
Yeah, and they both have massage. They kind of need to tie, front seat wise. Back seat wise, you know, Maybach.
Yeah, and let's talk about some drive modes. So we did show you that the Maybach can bounce, and with Yuri's Photoshop skills, here's what the Alphina would have looked like if it could bounce as well.
So don't forget to subscribe if you like cool comparisons and cool After Effects Photoshops. Yo, Corridor crew, if you're hiring, hit me up.
Bro, you're not leaving.
It's the only shot where the comping kind of betrays it.
I want to know how they actually did the.
Wow. There you go.
That was it.
That was it.
Okay,
That was
so
it.
You know how much I love cups and cup holders? Do you have heated and cooled cup holders in your Maybach?
Of course I do, and when I press the button to heat or cool them, the LED lights up blue or red.
My LED changes as well, but it's small and not as impressive in the Alpina XB7.
But it is pretty cool that we both have cooled and heated cup holders.
Okay, back to more technology stuff. We both have really wide digital displays.
Yeah, and the ones on the Maybach are basically the same as every other Mercedes across the board. However, we do have special Maybach gauges with the Maybach logo.
And this Alpina does have a customized gauge cluster as well with all Alpina fonts, and the tack goes green to blue, which is very, very cool. I think it has more customization, and therefore the Alpina wins.
What? There's no way. These ones are so much more customizable than the Mercedes.
But it literally just has a little Maybach logo. This Alpina thing is fully reskinned.
Yeah, but the amount of things that you can do with these gauges, listen, these are the better gauges, even though I don't like them as much.
And then as for infotainments, I've got that awesome BMW infotainment with the rotary wheel. I've got an Alpina rotary wheel and a crystal shifter. How about the Maybach?
I have a really nice Maybach logo on the palm rest, and then I also have a little touchpad and a touchscreen. And I also have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay in the Maybach, as do you in the BMW. We both have very high-res reverse cameras. We both have car wash mode, but the car wash mode in the Maybach is just so much better because it goes through a checklist of things that you have to do before you go through a car wash, whereas the car wash mode in the Alpina just shows you your parking camera, basically.
Yeah, but like a straight down view so you know you line up and don't scratch those wheels.
I actually have to give the overall win to the BMW for the infotainment because I find it just so easy to use now.
Totally agree. The BMW one is so great. And this one has a built-in drive recorder that will record to the car, where the drive recorder app on the Maybach, you need to actually plug in a USB to save your drive recordings. And the Alpina will rewind satellite radio with jump back, but you actually have that Ant tune mix in the Maybach, so I'm super jealous of that.
And then we both have radar cruise and lane keep assist. They're both very, very good, but the one in the Maybach is just that much better.
Yeah, the one in the Alpina does sway a little bit left and right, but below 50 kilometers an hour, you do have the traffic jam mode where it looks at your eyes with the camera. So if you're in like daily commute traffic all the time, this might be the better choice. And if you have open roads and you want to chase people down, the Alpina might also be the better choice.
Yeah, but if I'm the type of person to buy a Maybach, I might actually have a chauffeur, so therefore the Maybach is the better choice.
All right, train track test.
And what train tracks?
Pretty much. Couple more fun little tests. What's the top speed on your speedometer, Jacob?
260 in the Maybach, Yuri.
340 kilometers an hour in the Alpina.
Damn, bro!
And they both actually have a vitality mode, but the BMW Alpina soundtrack is a little more classic. And I've got gesture control, so I can do all the cool hand waving stuff in the Alpina.
I just tell my chauffeur to do that.
Damn, that's a good one.
So heading into Cliche Corner in the Maybach, I've got individual, sport, comfort, Maybach, and curve and off-road. I'm definitely gonna leave it in curve mode for Cliche in the Maybach.
And I'm gonna keep the Alpina in Sport Plus so I can just leave you in the dust.
And so what curve mode does in the Maybach is that it'll dip the inside, basically like you're driving a motorcycle. It's a really weird feeling, but it always kind of keeps you level. It's a really cool system.
And a gentleman's agreement to keep them in automatic. Okay, this thing is just like so fast for a huge SUV through here.
Yeah, and I don't really care about going fast at all. I just care about being horizontal. And the Maybach doesn't have any rear wheel steering, so it does feel kind of big.
Yeah, let me see if I can see some of that rear wheel steering through Cliche. And it definitely feels a lot more like an M car than it does a Rolls Royce in the Alpina XB7.
Yeah, and that also shortens your wheelbase in like parking lots and stuff. It's a really good system.
I love rear wheel steering.
And the steering effort on both of these is very light, but it's not effortless like a Rolls Royce would be. And although we agreed not to use the paddles through Cliche Corner, what about our pedals, Yuri?
Yeah, I've got normal ones in the XB7, but they are kind of nice.
I had fun using my Maybach branded gas pedal through Cliche Corner and then my brake pedal as well. They look fantastic.
That is a little way too luxury, but I think I want to answer the question now. Jacob, you always love fast cars, right?
I do love my fast cars.
Would you take this faster XB7 that is a little bit less luxurious than that slower Maybach, which is super luxurious?
Yeah, it's almost like a 1 second difference to their 0 to 60 times, but Yuri, I would 100% go with the Maybach because I just love how much luxury there is in here.
The Maybach would make no sense in my life.
This car is perfect.
Dailying an XB7 Alpina would be so much better for my lifestyle, but if I could pull off the Maybach, I definitely would.
Yeah, and there is a bit of a price discrepancy between these two as well.
So we should probably get to the price.
The Alpina is spec'd out to $179,900.
Canadian.
And the Maybach is sitting at $230,200.
Well, I think the Maybach is just like way more exclusive, way more luxurious, but a step below Rolls-Royce, because a Rolls-Royce will cost way more than that to start off.
So although both of us picked the Maybach, you really can't go wrong with either one. It just depends on what type of person you are. If you want the sportier SUV between these two, there's no question that it's that XB7.
Yeah, I mean, like, if I want to go biking somewhere, I pretty much have to have the XB7, right?
Yeah, pretty much. If you don't get the fridge option, you could probably fit a bike, but I also have a tow hitch on here.
Oh, yeah, I can just do a bike rack tow hitch. All right, I'll pick the Maybach. Let us know which one you would pick, XB7 or the Maybach. Do you want to go fast, or do you want to be driven around in style?
Do you think the extra price of the Maybach is worth it? Let us know in the comments.